going to find out here as we do kick things off on Lighthouse. Actually, a lot of voices there supporting Armament.
Yeah. Of all the Achilios places, in my opinion, in this meta, this is the one we've seen. I mean, I could look it up to know exactly, but from my memory, I mean, this is the one where you've seen the most variation of Winston versus Reinhardt, because some teams would like to have the more mobility of the Winston because you can fight around this open area right next to the Lighthouse.
Then you'll look at those knockoffs, the primal range.
And it works really well with the Pharah. You finish off those kills. But if you get a nice solidified position with the Reinhardt inside the control point and get that first, sure, it's riskier to run that, but if you do lock that down, you have such an advantage. And much to my surprise, we are going to see Overwatch on the Winston. It's not as much of a surprise to see Karian. I think I misspoke, it's Gargoyle, he's obviously a flex player, but Karian on the Winston.
We'll just be matching here. Both teams do clash. Overwatch going to be taken very low, but Youngbong actually kicked off at the beginning. Nice opening here for MVP if they can posture up over onto the point. Bianca just going to be taking the high ground, smashing some railings.
Yep, that's going to be the first cap coming through. I do appreciate that MVP Space, grabs this and Armament just says, okay, you're going to take this, Myungbong is dead. Let's not feed over any ult charge trying to take a 5v6 fight. So they don't have a massive ult advantage, at least. So that's the big thing that WGS Armament can feel happy about as they try to rotate around the right side.
Down coming through, DPI getting tagged up quite a bit. The shielding will return. Charge forward here from MVP Space. Looking to find the next kill here on the map, and everybody from WGS just in shambles. Just, look at those HP bars, dangerously low here. Still, no one's going to be going down yet, but as I say that, Tuba will come up with the kill here on the DPI. Charge forward, Myungbong going to fall again. Now Pelican and Mandu all going to be going down as Gargoyle gets spotted at the back. Ooh, Korean.
A huge mistake there with the primal.
That was absolutely a massive mistake.
Yeah, might have been a misclick even. I mean, that at this level of play, you just simply don't see that. Gargoyle will be staggered here for a little bit longer, but...
Charge and boop off the side. Tuba says, nope, that's fine.
He's grabbing the, he's buffing up his KDA. But a nice little right click there to grab some more ult charge. But yeah, I mean, that was a huge mistake. Unless he obviously was going to just switch over the Reinhardt either way. We'll never know if it was planned or not, but I mean, I like this choice now that he's used the Primal, because if he could have used the Primal for a next contest, but he's just going to throw that out the window here and use the Ryan.
Probably for the best. So drop down here on the low ground, going to be swinging away. Graviton Surge going to be coming out from Yaki. Bomb right up top. Mandu going to get clipped by that one. Gargoyle popped out, and again, it's looking like a clean sweep here, as Gargoyle will be the last one left. Can't jump over top of that Winston, but will finally go ahead and dip off the side. Tuba gets tagged with a shift again.
Remember, DPI still hasn't been able to build a grav because that second fight was taken so far away from the actual control point itself. And Karian, with the late switch to Reinhardt here, doesn't have a shadow. Those are the two big ults they need to engage coming through. They're going to have to try to time their support ultimates late, as Oberon's looking for a knockoff here.
Yeah, drops down for the smack. And, oh, that's going to be Karian going off the side, fused with a right click. Able to find it in the end. Lucio going to be going out as well. As MVP Space looks to close things here with 100-0, and it looks like they will get their reward.
Very well played by MVP.
Gargoyle, yeah, desperation, tries to dump that self-destruct, but no one going to get clipped, no one else to follow up here onto the point. Very concise victory coming in for MVP at the start of this.
That was really well played. The primal usage there could have been used to try to retake the point and do something similar to what Oberon just set up there. It was a pretty predictable play what Oberon was looking to do, but they couldn't really risk trying to take the long way around that position because they didn't have enough time due to the percentage. So if we had seen Karian hold on to the primal, maybe something different could have happened. He might have just used it because he knew he was going to swap, but either way, like, he just delayed his respawn timer if he was using it that way. They had that ult deficit. They took some poor fights. MVP Space controls it really well. Yaki's on the Pharah here. Did not expect to see it on well, in fact. I thought we'd see it on Lighthouse potentially if we were going to see it, but I am excited. It's the Pharah Sombra, which has been used a lot in recent times across Contenders in other regions, as well as in Trials a little bit. Very popular combo right now.
Yeah, Spray just going to be coming down. Yaki here with the Pharah. We do get our wish in that regard. From boop off. Not going to be able to find it though. It's a little bit of damage in. Splash going to be reduced, but still building up quite nicely for the barrage so far. Dive into the back for the Winston. Ariana's going to be looking for a pick-off. So far has not found much of anything. He tag up Oberon quite nicely, though, weakening him. But now a barrage going to be online for Yaki. Let's see if he can orchestrate the destruction of WGS with this ult. Drops into the back. Defense Matrix going to be there. Still gets a pop out on a Gargoyle. Doesn't get much more off of the barrage, but is able to follow up for a kill there onto the pilot form, and Undyne does balance things out by taking down DPI, and this is just going to be MVP getting another team wipe as they gain control.
And I want to point everyone's attention to DPI. He's going to swap onto the McCree. I was going to say he has to do this because he's built no ult charge, and Zarya is not going to do well against a more mobile composition. And the, I mean, when you have Tuba on the Sombra and you have Yaki on the Pharah, Grab's not going to do much for you. He can't even get the damage to build one, so he's now going to try to counter this. But the next attack here with this EMP is going to be devastating potentially.
Yeah, drops down, comes around the corner, only catches a couple members here. Maybe that'll be enough. So, you know, Bianca going to be broken out of that mech field. Ball going to be traded out. Oberon comes up with 2 kills as DPI will also fall. The power of this Primal Rage. One in a bit deep. Primal getting ready to expire. Oberon's got to get out of dodge. Will be able to do so as the pocket coming in from Fuse.
So, I mean, looking at the setup here now for WGS Armament, how can they hope to get DPI into a position to really do damage? Because they're so far away. Yaki's at such a safe position here. Every time he tries to tag him, as he did here, he's at risk of all the damage coming out from Oberon.
Yeah, that and the fall-off is still going to be there, so yeah, will not have that much meaningful damage against the pocketed Pharah. Sound barrier was used by Mondu as they tried to make their way in off the point, but so far still going to be eluding them. Bong using the Transcendence as well, as the WGS just shifts around the back. Orion just managed to find Undyne.
Look at this.
Pelican take it down. The red's going to be coming in. Another barrage here, though.
It's good enough.
Does get executed in the exchange, but it's still a very good look for MVP Space as they maintain control. They're already at 84%. WGS might just be losing back-to-back rounds on Achilios 100-0.
Yaki has just been such a masterclass Pharah player for so long. He knows where to be to minimize risk against the McCree while also maintaining vision with Tuba, who's got that passive. It's just so easy to set these up.
EMP as well. Now Mondu going to get taken down as the OT starts ticking through, and everybody just going to be dying straight after him. Fuse left alone to defend the point. That's all that it took. MVP 100-0s. Perfect rounds on Achilios.
Very quick 1-0 here.
I mean, you think at least MVP has been, at least going back to Season 2, where they were, you know, kind of new and improved, very consistent and usually pretty concise when it comes down to control. They had a lot of victories on control maps. Runaway, that series was kind of the blemish there. 100-49 the first round, and then 100-0. That was on Lijiang Tower. They suffered a loss there. But if you take a look back into their match history leading up, you know, in the beginning of the playoffs versus Element Mystic, they were able to take that whole series. They got the win on Oasis. Then you look back even further versus 7, got another victory there, 2-0. So Control has been a bit of a staple map type for MVP in their recent times. But now we have to see how things are going to change as we get ready to move into Hybrid and whether or not Flora is going to be joining us on stage.
And Control can really be snowbally like this in this meta, where on Lighthouse we saw, for example, the ult advantages and the, you know, whatever happened there with the Primal Rage from Karayan, you know, it's like, it didn't work out for them, right? So they're always behind on that map, and then Oberon set up the flank there to get the knockoffs. Then when you went into it's like, Yaki, as far as controlling this, DPI can't get into position. They're playing it so well, and you're always fighting an uphill battle when you're behind on control. No matter what meta it is, but especially in this heavy tank-oriented meta, you are really fighting an uphill battle. So sometimes games can look super one-sided like that. That's why Lunatic High's worst, even though they had an incredible win rate through their Apex seasons, their worst map type was control. And it's a map type where if things go wrong on your first neutral fight, like you sometimes you can't win no matter how good you are if your opponent doesn't make massive mistakes because you have that massive advantage defender-wise. And I'm not trying to say that control should be changed or anything like that or it's a bad thing, but we just have to accept that's how it is, you know? So, yeah, I think that this series, I still strongly feel this is going to be a close series. I could be totally wrong. But I'm just saying, like, let's not, like, freak out. I'm like, oh, my God, I mean, space is, like, that was incredible. Like, the other team doesn't even have a chance. It's not even fair. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
We're going to take a look. Oh, Team Twitch chat, Korea over EU.
My team.
Greater than. I agree.
It's like our team's gonna win, basically, is what it says. Our team winning. I don't know who their team is.
This is like the Overwatch like kid show on Nickelodeon. Nick Jr.
Yeah. Widowmaker's
like
really shy in this version.
We had Muppet Babies, and then it'd be like Young Overwatch or something like that.
Reaper
Young
looks
Justice.
like the comedian of the show in this one as well, the comic relief.
He's wacky.
I'm sure you guys can figure out who this fan is, or who's he's a fan of. I'm gonna struggle to say words.
It's okay. It's only our job.
Yeah,
to do that.
The
nice
MVP
little
fan here.
MVP fighting.
Yep.
Double shields. Maybe like wearing the stickers.
They've got 2 tanks now, so.
Maybe wearing like the stickers of the tattoos on their cheeks.
Yeah. Okay. It says
MVP Armament.
It says you're gonna get rank 1, right? You're gonna do that for me?
Which team? MVP or Armament?
Oh wait, yeah, I didn't even realize like that. I mean, how do they have both on there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they lie.
It says everything according to plan.
Is that a burglar's mask?
I think so.
I guess they're supposed to like steal the victory away from MVP or something. There's still a chance to do that. We call that a reverse sweep.
It's basically like everything according to plan, just you wait. Is the general idea with this sign. Well, I'm assuming we're having a substitution, and given that we're going on to a, we're going to a hybrid map, as you point out, it's usually Flora who gets subbed in, but we'll be subbing in for DPI and not Pelican. So we have seen this happen a few times in trials in my VOD review. It's pretty rare, but we have seen sometimes where it's Pelican and Flora together, and DPI is on the bench. But it's kind of a, as I mentioned before, the flexibility that these players have, Pelican and Flora, both of them, means that this can work. Because they can both play Brigida, they can both play Zarya, and they have the overlap on the Sombra. So we might see Flora on Sombra with a Brigida variation here. It's unlikely on a hybrid with the map pool that we have, but if we had other maps, I'll make a better argument for it.
Well, let's see where they're going to take us. Hollywood or Nimbani. What style do they want to roll with? Oberon was looking pretty darn good with the Winston, so Nimbani, could be a bit of an issue, but then if you want to go for the Hollywood and have his Reinhardt come out, this is a bit of a tough situation to be in. Ultimately, though, they will land on Nimbani.
Okay. Well, this is another map where we could see Yaki's Pharah, so that's pretty terrifying. The Pharah Sombra attack on A has been very popular as of late, and they crushed with it on Achilios, so when you're the defender, you're going to have to be worried about that. Otherwise, let's see what this DPS duo for WGS Armament is going to bring to the table. Because this is the map where Goats is the least effective on A, in my opinion. I mean, of the 2 maps we have. I always say that, and then I'm like, well, people might freak out and be like, well, there's a lot of other ones, but in this map pool, which we normally have all the maps available, this is the one where it's this. I'm guessing Fuse didn't raise his hand because he was trying to say raise the roof. I imagine that we might have a technical issue because he had his hand raised like that.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope we do. We don't have a pause, so
yeah. Maybe we can get maybe we instantly fix the problem.
Yeah, just taking a look behind me, it looks like everything is fine. So
okay, so it seems like we can just keep on rolling here.
Maybe he was trying to raise the roof. I don't know.
He was just, just getting into the groove with his Lucio, amping it up.
Well, Genji with the Sombra rather than the the Sombra Pharah. So Yaki's still flexing again here onto one of his better projectile heroes. It's the defensive one though, not the attack, and Armament is going to be running Goats. Pelican on the Brigida, as mentioned. It's a very tough spot to engage against when they have the high ground controlled like this.
Charge through, they make their way into the back of the point, but Orion's going to get picked off here. And now there's going to be a big disconnect. The Winston at least has the leap, so he can try to find a way to rejoin in with his squad. But if he gets denied by Bianca is the big thing. If he can get moved out of the air, that could be huge. But now Fuse, he pushes way too far forward. He's just going to get caught out. Not sure what he was doing there on the staircase.
I think he was trying to get a big bio grenade, but unfortunately that doesn't work out.
You know, let them come to you, don't go to them.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be the one disconnected. Drop down coming through. Gargle just trying to find a target. He's like, I don't know which way to look, man. finally does spot out Bianca, sends him running off the point. First tick gets ready to come through. They do start contesting this one again, but it all shifts back off. One tick going to be gained.
Yeah,
Up on the high ground. Oberon's there. Tuba's going to get caught out.
Yaki's got the blade, but I just don't think he's going to be able to use it here.
Got Undyne, going to get Koopa Stomp. Ryan coming up with that kill. Dragon Blade does come down. Pelican, the first one to fall, but Yaki dropped down at 50 HP. Transcendence out from Myungbong, and that will be point A going the way of WGS. So they turn the situation around, mostly on the back of Fuse getting caught.
Yaki's going to switch over to the Doomfist here. And with EMP, that could be very powerful. Okay, thinks better of it. Okay, I think the Doomfist is not a bad idea when you know you're down on ults like this. You could sometimes, it feels like Doomfist, if it goes really well for him, it's either you smash Doomfist and you really pop off, or it's terrible. But you can kind of cheat a win in a team fight with ult disadvantage with him. But he thinks better of it and goes for the Zarya. Wants to build that before the B contest. They're not that desperate to switch to the Doomfist just yet.
Rally used in advance here, Pelican. Ryan gonna get taken down, but I'm gonna say Pelican, burning that rally to make sure that Myungbong has the armor. They are pretty much aware that Tuba will have an EMP at this point, so they want as much survivability as humanly possible for that Zenyatta. Took good foresight, but unfortunately they lose out on their Winston, so that does lose them some time. Tuba's in the back. EMP gonna get dropped down. Everybody. MVP space charges forward. So far, no kills to be found, however. They all manage to stay alive. Oberon pops that primal rage, drops back down, tries to gate them into the spawn. Explorer gets popped out of the mech.
Really well played here. Had Oberon not jumped, I think he could have done even more, but the timing of the primal was perfect. And they get to keep the Transcendence because it wasn't needed there. So just being really ult efficient is MVP space, and now Yaki is building that up.
Bomb into the back. Trying to pick off. Gargoyle just going to be soaking up that explosion with his bubble, but Pelican Duran. Yeah, now Zarya will be falling, so cannot make use of that gained energy.
And this is just, I mean, this is tragedy for WGS Armament. I mean, they looked so much more coordinated than this in trials, but having a rough time.
We have a name for this.
Yeah.
They are getting Willy Wonka.
They are Willy Wonka for sure. I'll let you explain that one later, but they're going to peek out here now and look for this fight. They have the ult advantage, but Transcendence early. MVP Space just wants to win this fight before that can even be used.
Yeah, just to escort them forward. They have a sound barrier should they need it. Graviton Surge coming down, locked up a couple members. They will just go ahead and hold that Lucio ultimate. So seems like they just abandoned the fight, so Willy Wonka has been broken.
They knew Oberon didn't have the bubble, so they knew that that was going to be an ideal spot to use the bigger bang combo, and they get to hold all the rest of their ultimates, so they don't feel too bad about how much time they lost. I feel like Tuba has maybe stayed on the Sombra a bit long, looking for an ideal EMP, and he just hasn't found it yet. He might be better off if he had the Brigida to have the rally to keep everyone more armored up, plus the extra healing, and that's missing here. The hacked health packs aren't really going to be relevant in this situation. Hiding here is Mandu.
Working his way around the backfield. Long going to go ahead and use that Transcendence as WGS goes forward with the fight. Full range of Orion. Yeah, going to be the first one of all. EMP now going to get tossed into the backside of the Graviton Surge. Gargoyle gets taken down in exchange on the Zarya so far, and Mandu helps keep everybody else alive with that sound barrier. Now Undyne going to be falling. Oberon dead right as he gets that primal rage available. MVP Space still trying to scrape their way by in this fight to pick up a couple kills. The cart halted just 3 meters away from B, but now Bianca loses out on the mech.
Yeah, really well played here by Armament, and Mandu was ready the whole time to drop down that sound barrier, and now they're going to have the respawns coming through a little bit faster. This is not guaranteed yet, though.
Yeah, they do manage to get the rejoin. Oberon has the primal range, can buy some time, especially for the rest of the supports to join in. Struck up into the air, not going to find a pick off. Transcendence now from Undyne. Joins back in on the cart, keeping things contested, making sure that it can't inch those final little bits through onto B. Bump up that time thing. WGS is going to be down to 1:25 here, but now Fuse going to get picked off. Kill fashion from Pelican, finds that kill. Gargoyle hacked out, still going to be zapping away, can't really build up any energy, but seems like he doesn't need it because Bianca still going to be taken out of that mech. Here on the back, pulse bomb ready to go. Might just have to hold on to this because the cart just keeps steadily moving forward. Closer and closer, but now he uses it and finds two. Mandu and Pelican dead. The cart still advances into B. They bump the time bank up to 2.5 minutes, and yeah, we should be seeing a swap off the Tracer.
It's going to be back to the Zarya. He wanted to get the pulse there. The Tracer was just a desperation move to delay. It was a pretty successful delay, but not as good as they wanted. Tuba holds yet another EMP, but I have to say these just have not been that impactful. We're going to see Orion commit to the primal, and that's a disconnect.
Into the back, looking for Myungbong, is able to spray him down. This will be the fight here for MVP space. EMP finally does work out. They didn't have armor on that Zenyatta. He barely did not have that Transcendence, up 3% away now as he respawns. So MVP space can stabilize here, but they don't have that many ults available to utilize.
It's
Juba's
nice,
just
though.
now swapping over onto that brig.
It's nice that they have the brig swap now, and they found a way to do it and buy time at the same time. Karayan actually really wanted to swap off of the Winston, I think, again, and that's why he went for that, but it cost them a lot of time. Ooh, this is a nice setup here.
Yeah, bomb in the back. Mick, could be Pelican going down. Grabbed on Surge out onto the cart here from WGS. Gargoyle trying to find some kills, but they're not going to be able to get anything undone with the Transcendence. Holds that one in his back pocket. Throws it down right when he needs it the most. Pin comes in from Karayan, but gets killed, or he can find one of his own. WGS going to be pushed back into the spawn again.
He's building ult charge quickly, but it's a suicidal attempt. He's losing his life for it, and his team is losing the fight as a result. He's not playing to slowly edge forward. He's playing to get an ult, but when you have to walk this far to get to the cart, your opponent has similar ults as well. I mean, you're really having a risky trade. You're not playing for completion. You're playing for a few meters, perhaps, off of a one-team fight. Very risky.
Bash in. Front throws down that shatter. Pelican, the first one to fall. The sound barrier. It's a little bit too late to keep that brig alive. Younghook going to get popped out of the mech all the same, though. So decent trade back for WGS as Karayan goes ahead and uses the shatter himself.
But it's a mistimed shatter, you know? I feel like Karayan's a good tank player, but his strategy has been a bit off.
Well, looking for the pin, manages to find one there as Tuba will get taken out, and that's going to be a team wipe. Very swiftly turned around on the backside of Gargoyle's Graviton Surge. 30 seconds remaining. They start inching forward, but MVP will be able to contest this. They have a rally, they have a grab.
It's almost like MVP Space forgot that that ult was there. They were like, aha, his shatter was useless. Let's just all ball up right here.
Yep. I don't need to hold this shield anymore.
Oh, well, Yaki's grab is going to have to be big if they want to prevent completion. 10 seconds to go. Transcendence is already used from Myunbong, so this is a great timing. There it goes.
Stein has one of his own. Ryan trying to see which way to turn around. That's going to be that self-destruct getting the pop here. Invested from the floor. Will be able to make it back into the back. Down a healer, down a tank Gargoyle. Now going to be dead as well. The floor rather going to be pushing forward here onto the cart, trying to buy some time. Gets booped away, gets knocked out. OT going to start ticking away. It seems like WGS, a very nice little stretch at the end. That grab was perfect. They got the team wipe instantly, but they cannot get the completion.
I feel like this push went so far because MVP Space made a few small overextensions. And Karayan has had some really fast ult builds. Like I have to give him credit for that. But the trade-off is that he's dying often. And sometimes these ults, he's like building them quickly, just throwing them out. It feels like there's no communication with the squad about when these should be tossed out. And they won the fight despite his shatter completely whiffing. But it's like his mechanical skill is very high. If he could just tune his decision-making, his individual decision-making in some of these moments, I think he has the potential to be a great Reinhardt player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I think he has the potential for more. Like, I'm seeing talent that needs to be tuned right now with his play.
He's playing it a little bit like Dark Souls, where he's dying repeatedly to inch forward very slightly.
Yes.
But he needs to be hitting that point where you just speed run the game and you make it look like a joke.
And the whole push there for WGS Armament was very much a short-term think, how many meters can we get, rather than let's really control this and be ult efficient and hit completion. And sure, they got a few meters off that fight where MVP Space messed up and we saw the big grab come through. But they didn't get completion because they were out of tools after that. And Myunbong used his Transcendence way too early, so it was just really easy for MVP Space to set up for the follow-up grab. For the defense here, we will see Flora on the Sombra. This is what I was talking about with the Flora Sombra with Pelican Brigitte. We've seen this in trials from them on this very map, if I'm not mistaken. Versus Yaki once again on the Genji for A. It's going to be on the attack this time. But with a very small health pool heroes that WGS Armament is running, there's a lot of potential for dash resets with a Swift Strike.
Flora in the back. On the hunt. So far, I don't think he's revealed himself. Pelican just needs to be really good at denying this. They do see that it's going to be the Brigitte and switch Yaki over to the Pharah. And this is fine. You know, it's two of his best heroes, you know, when he can play them, when he's not relegated to GOATs, like 20XX, GOATs versus GOATs forever. So, nice swap here. Everyone's playing back against it. Rockets coming down. Ryan getting tagged up quite a bit as the lead back over to the rest of his squad. So opening things up nicely to make their way in onto the point. Keep checking to see if there's anybody else up onto the high ground. Not gonna find anybody, so instead, just layers these rockets in, trying to knock Gargoyle out of that mech. It's a lot more damage in order to do so. Charge forward coming through. One more hit would do it. Defense Matrix denies those away, and Pelican gets that armor pack in, hoping to keep him alive. He just keeps falling back. Getting his damage in, nearly has that barrage online. He gets a pick off onto Flora.
That's good communication right there. You could see it was called out, and he turned because he knew that Sober had already used jump and was very low. Very smart moves by MVP Space.
Absolutely perfect. Now the EMP going to be up. Tuba throw this one down. Jumps in, gets the execution instantly on the Myungbong. Cannot use that transcendence in time. Take the fight back over. Self-destructing to the back. Bianca manages to get rid of Manus, and now supportless here is WGS. Yaki nearly goes down, but gets the pop there on the Gargoyle's mech. And this looks like this is going to be point A, going the way of MVP Space.
Very just good, clean communication here. You can see in moments like that Yaki turn or the Tuba EMP that it's called out. You know, not only did he know where exactly Myungbong was standing, but he knew that he was low so that they could burst him immediately, and there was going to be almost no chance for him to use the Transcendence. In fact, he was hacked before he could use it, but they might have killed him even if he planned to use it there, just because he was so low. So really nice plays by MVP Space as a unit together. Rallies up for WGS, but it's a bit early. Feels desperate to use it in a situation like this where you're so far away from contention.
Flora just going to be sprinting around, EMP ready to go.
Flora does not have the armor, by the way. Missed out on that.
To find a setup for this. Throws it down. Does catch the Winston here. Oberon's going to get taken out. Follow up this flying Tuba. Pelican able to get the kill there. And MVP Space will be held at bay here for the moment. Barrage still going to be sitting in the back pocket of Yaki.
So both support ultimates used, so they don't have those, and Barrage is ready, and Primal Rage is ready. If MVP Space can save these using EMP for the contest of B, they're going to feel so good about their position right now.
Flora into the back again. Spraying away. Does help take down Undyne. Barely escaped the sliver of HP. But now WGS still feeling okay to play this far forward. Riz will come in. Fuse just putting Undyne back into the mix that much faster. EMP going to be used basically solo here onto Karayan. Smart to find that kill. A Pelican hacked out. Hit with the shield. Takes a little bit of damage, but will be able to retreat successfully.
And Yaki knows that even though it's rare to see this, he actually should hold this barrage for contest. And because they have the ult advantage and they have this EMP that's constantly giving them that, and they know the support ultimates are used, he's trying to hit this tiny window before Transcendence is ready with this barrage right on that point B. And this is super rare. We almost never see Pharah make it this far in this meta, but in this one situation, maybe it's basically if we use this barrage correctly, we just keep ult advantage forever.
Yep, oh, he's just going to go ahead and drops that one. The Primal Rage will come through. Gargoyle melted out of that mech so very rapidly. Follows up with a kill there on Mandu. The direct hits coming through. Leads to that. Pelican finally able to come in with a shield patch to get rid of that Pharah, but the damage is really done here. Orion's going to get taken down. Undyne exchanged out. Still a couple members 3 here on the cart, trying to contest things for WGS and keep them in the mix. Pelican will finally fall. The res comes through onto Undyne. Put him back here on the board for MVP Space as they try to get this cart rolled through into B.
Yeah, faster respawns for WGS, but it just doesn't feel like they're going to be able to retake control here, especially with a really good hack, another EMP.
And Gargoyle can't use that self-destruct to try to make it back into the back. And now Ryan going to get taken down. This will be point B. Going the way of MVP Space, so 3:18 on the clock for the final approach, barely.
Now we can just swap.
The map.
He's just going to swap over. They're going to go back to the Goats because they've basically done everything they wanted. 3-minute time bank with the ult advantage they had, forcing WGS Armament to match here. They've baited out so many of Myungbong's Transcendences early that they always are able to get the big ultimates with no counterplay. MVP Space looking really good tonight. Transcendence to approach.
Struck there, Tuba gonna get clipped by that. Get taken down, but they managed to find Karayan. Now the sound barrier rather comes through for WGS. Mandu keeping everybody else topped up, and Pelican takes that as an opportunity to scoop up a double kill. Charge forward coming in, WGS them all the way back towards the spawn.
It was a big risk to use the Transcendence to lead, and with the swap to on and out, feels like perhaps that was his plan all along, to try to use the nanoed Reinhardt to get completion, because that's a big play you can have when you have this much time bank. So I do appreciate that. But, you know, had he held it, they would have had other opportunities. We are going to see EMP held here for Flora. Impossible to track him at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to be looking for the backline kills at the front right now, actually.
Gargoyle has swapped over onto the Zarya, so no more D.Va in the mix. Oberon going to get taken down for it, able to find that kill with the EMP dump through. Yaki trying to retreat, gets the shields up for a moment, but just gets hounded down. WGS cleaning up another kill.
And it's hard.
They extend this.
It's hard for Armament to know this exactly right now, but Undyne didn't build a nano in that push, because usually you will, in any slightly longer fight, build that nano, and Undyne doesn't have it, so it's hard for them to know, but I think they probably get a good idea, so they're going to feel good about this next situation, because that's the big push. They're looking for the nano that gives Oberon the shatter, and then they push that to completion to win this map. That's the big scary part.
That armor on pretty much everybody. Graviton Surge going to be coming down. No one to eat that one up, but that's going to be a Transcendence out. Charge comes through. Isolates Karayan for the moment. They're swinging away and trying to kill him, but actually they cannot finish him off. You'll take a push forward. Now Yaki and Oberon both going to be eliminated. They do have that shatter online, but Tuba, Undyne going to get taken down.
He wastes the nano as well. He wanted to bio to get the nano, and it was denied by Karayan. So Karayan making multiple big plays there, denying that grenade, delaying the nano, ruining MVP Space's whole game plan. And now they've only got a minute left. It's going to take a long time to rebuild that grab for Yaki. It's just probably not going to happen unless they get a nice fight up here, but they don't have ult advantage, and they will be hacked by an EMP.
Maybe that shatter bomb to pop off. Grab's going to go a little bit too deep into the back. Pelican taken down. Oberon opening things up. Now the shatter getting dropped in, but doesn't find any lockdowns. Fire Strike, however, will clip in onto Gargoyle. He's just going to be dragging Karayan's body along for a ride all the way back over to the spawn.
What a tragedy for a WGS Armament. I mean, really.
They still have an opportunity here. Perhaps they can get in onto the cart. Pelican going to get booped back. Bondu just managed to tag in for a moment, but they just barely inch it through. It was looking so good for them.
That was such a favorable position for them. They had the ult advantage. The grab was wasted. Flora held the EMP. The communication seems to be a bit off sometimes with this squad. They have all the tools, and the way they set these ultimates up was really well played. But in the last moment, in the most important moment of all, they just couldn't execute. The grab went wide, as you said. The EMP was held, and then they got killed by a charge. None of the ultimates they held got to be used in that fight, not a single one. And MVP Space steals the win here, virtually. Their attack plan, which was well executed with the Undyne nano boost, the grab, the lead into that, all got denied by a really well-placed shield. They didn't have any tools, they didn't have any advantages, but WGS Armament chokes in the most important moment, and MVP Space takes the 2-0 lead.
I mean, I think that, you know, that WGS fan with the burglar sign needs to repurpose it, because MVP really did just kind of rob that victory away. Unlucky, or as Winston would say, unfortunate.
Yeah, this is a tough moment for the Armament coaching staff, because, you know, everyone in this huddle here knows that they were supposed to win that map. And it's tough to be like, look, you did this and this and this wrong, and why'd you hold the EMP? I don't think that's what they're saying, but that's what everyone's thinking, right? And to kind of keep everyone on the same page here before we go into halftime, it's rough, man. And MVP Space has looked clean. Tuba has never really been known for his Sombra. He played it a lot, but we never thought, wow, this is great Sombra. And today, sure, perhaps a weaker opponent than we expected, but it looks good.
Yeah, a couple moments. The first couple of EMPs weren't fantastic.
Sure.
There was the one up towards the A spawn after the point A had gotten capped. That was a very solid one, able to just burn down Myungwon and get that kill. But then as we went deeper and deeper, the EMPs kind of got better and better from Tuba, so showing an upward trajectory in that regard. But if you need it, if there's ever a time to suffer a loss like this, it's right before the halftime when you have a couple extra minutes before the next map to settle things, talk to your team, and try to stabilize. But that means that we are going to be going to a quick break, guys. When we come back, we'll have the second half of this match, so don't go anywhere.